Welcome back. Today we're speaking about respect and respect in the sense of how a husband really needs respect in order for him to thrive, in order for him to be a leader in the family. And I mean, men need it much more than women need respect. Obviously, each spouse has to respect one another. That goes without saying. Just as a woman needs to feel love, craves that feeling of love from her spouse, hungers for it, a man wants the same in terms of respect from his wife. And as I often do, as I write these blog posts and as I expand through these videos, I think back to my own personal experience in my younger married years. And I can come up with many examples of how I did not respect my husband. And it makes me really sad to think of it. And, if I forget to say it right now, I'm going to say it right now in case I forget to say it later, but I think it would be a great exercise for both of you right now to write out a list of the things that you really respect for one another. But I'm telling you, if you do present that list to one another, the man is going to appreciate it even more than you do. They need those thank yous. They need those bits of encouragement. And so an example that comes to mind quickly is when we had first chosen that for our kids to go to a private Catholic school. And we started off that way, but it was right around that time where I started really getting into the like I was studying for my PhD at the time, and I was just researching some literature on, because I'm all in that research mode, right? Like it's finding the facts. And something came up about, dual language acquisition and the importance of expanding a child's mind through learning more than one language. It makes sense, right? It's true. It's a fact. So Luella, in all her wisdom at that time, felt like, okay, you know what? Yeah, maybe they shouldn't go to this private Catholic school, and maybe they should instead go to a French immersion school. And, in my deterministic ways, I did not, my husband was like, well, no, it's more important that they go to this private Catholic school and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. So there we go, and my decision ruled over him. On completely disrespected his beliefs and his thoughts on the issue. And, outcome, I think all three children received good education in their own individual ways. But I also think that I could have respected his decision. Yeah. Do any of my children use French right now? No, not to say it didn't help with their intellect and brain, formation, things like that. But wow, that's one example of many. But if I kept on with the other ways I disrespected my husband, I probably wouldn't get through this video. And we're on a bit of a time crunch here. I tend to tape these videos when I know I have a short amount of time, just because I think I can go on and on and on. And that's more what for my episodes are, for my podcast episodes. So let's keep this one brief, because the message really is brief. I'm just going to quote a scripture passage here that kind of sums it up. It's from Ephesians 5:33, and it says, "Each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband." So it's pretty clear there. A woman craves love and a man craves respect. So let's just try to give one another that. And, respect isn't about just blind agreement. It's seeing the good, even amid the imperfection. You know, examples, maybe just showing or noticing, I should say, small daily efforts that he's making or recognizing the good intentions that he had, even when the results fall short. Just like daily affirmations and like if there was fault, if there was mistakes, and obviously your husband is going to make mistakes. But just, affirming in him that I see the good, saw that your intentions were good. I see the good in you. And, I trust your heart's desire to lead and things like that. Or, you want, it's not just like encouragement in a way that a mother would encourage her child, right? We have to be careful about this. It has to be honest trust that you're instilling on your husband, that he knows that you trust him. But I know that there's times where respect feels very difficult. And I want to acknowledge that reality that we have right now in our times because, I think sometimes women especially feel the weight of the world are on their shoulders. And maybe that's due to their own fault somewhat. Maybe, we think that we can do it all. We're great at multitasking and we sort of like take on this burden. But sometimes we have to realize, we got our hands in way too many things. And it's just sort of like this micromanaging that results in a man feeling emasculated. It's almost like we're doing so much. They feel like they're maybe not doing enough. They want to do more. They want to lead the family. They want to be the provider, the protector, and the problem solver. That's so natural for them. They want this so badly. We need to trust in their efforts a little bit more. And you know what? When it's super hard, then meditate on it, pray about it, ask God, like trust in God's will that that there will be some intervention that he will feel and he will start just naturally doing more. Trust isn't easy, right? And like I said, like if you haven't listened to an episode that I did on my podcast with Leonard Sachs, you should, because a lot of what I'm saying here today reflects back on how he, in his research and from what he sees today is how many men grew up with strong male models, and so respecting your husband doesn't mean ignoring these current day problems of many men face in not having the proper male model in their lives to show them what a man really is. But that's even more of a reason for you to encourage, the good in the person, offering influence, but in a gentle manner. And again, trusting in God's work, not demanding some immediate result. You need to do this by this time and you need to do it like this sort of thing. We have to be gentle. We have to be soft and in our influences. Like our security can't come from our husband's perfection. It must come, I feel, from, your trust in God and always putting God first in your relationship. Having that deep relationship with God is going to allow you to have a deep, meaningful, trusting relationship in your husband. You just can't do it all by yourself. Let me close because I'm going to have to close here soon with some practical examples that you can do, women, I'm speaking to you, for small and large efforts. So, how about just speaking well of him to your children, your friends, and strangers? It's not always easy. I know that. especially when you're having parenting difficulties, but speaking to your children about the ways that you admire him will multiply, in the benefit that's going to do for your children. I mean, it's so easy to focus on the points that are challenging that you see in your husband and, pointing these out and maybe empathizing too much with the children. We have to shine we have to shine light on the things that we're proud of about our spouses in front of our children. Okay? Another little thing that you can do is ask for his opinion and truly listen. Even small things, even if you're going out for dinner, trust in terms of where he chooses to park, trust in terms of how he chooses to get there. Don't be this like overcorrector. Oh, you could have done that better. You could have made a better choice in that. You've been, thinking that you're helping. I've given this example before too, but if my husband's cooking and I come in the kitchen, I know there's part of me that always wants to come off as very helpful, but overcorrecting him in things that he's doing that doesn't make a difference at all. In the end, the fact that he's cooking is good enough. If he wants help, he'll ask for help. If he wants advice, he'll ask for advice. But that's not going to happen. Give him space to solve problems without micromanaging him like that. And I think also pray for him daily and let him know you are, in whatever efforts he's trying to make in the world. And not from a superior place, like, oh, I know you're struggling and therefore I'm praying for you. No, like if he's sharing what he's struggling with on a daily basis, which I hope he is, mention that you will pray for him, or you're just thinking of him. If you're not spiritual, then just let him know that you're thinking of him and you trust that it's going to turn out really well. That speaks volumes, just saying that alone. So, think about it. What's one small way that you can respect your husband today that breathes life into your marriage? Because that's what respect does. It breathes life into him. It's like and it's not a reward. Like this is not rewarding him. It's nothing that respect isn't earned after he gets everything right. It's a part of your daily behavior, part of your daily acts of love towards him. Again, just as a woman craves love and respect are the food for a marriage. It's not just information. It's not just like facts. It's food. You're both hungry for each of these things. Women are hungry. You're hungry for that love, to know that you're deeply loved. And sometimes you question it. And believe me, as many times as you're questioning your love, he's questioning whether or not he's respected. And you might have shown that respect last month or 7 months ago or 7 years ago. You have to try to weave it in daily. It'll be like watering a plant. You'll see. Don't just offer it when it's easy. You offer it because it's necessary for the heart to thrive. So in closing, because now I'm late for my next appointment, when you offer respect faithfully, blindly, you strengthen the man that, God's calling your husband to become. But you also strengthen the very foundation of your marriage. It's not something you're doing for him. It's something that you're doing for both of you. I know that foundation that the marriage stands on. So as I always try to end, if this touched you at all today, please send me a comment. But more importantly, I invite you to pray over your marriage, asking God to help you to see the good in your partner, even when it's hard. And especially in terms of respect for your husband, please let him know that. Again, I can't overemphasize how important this is. So thanks for listening as always, and see you next week.